We also have Major Mohammed Ali Shah, defense analyst, joining us at this point. Major Mohammed Ali Shah, your first reaction to this announcement that the United States President has made that Zawahiri is dead, he has been eliminated.
It is very, very good news, and as President Joe Biden describes it, that as justice has been delivered to the families of 9/11. In fact, he gave his go-ahead for the operation on 25th July. 31st July on the balcony, as Rahul Gautam rightly brought out. You know, this balcony when he was hit by 2 Hellfire missiles by a drone attack, and no civilian casualties in this operation, thankfully. 3,000 families were lost, 3,000 people were killed in the 9/11 attacks in 2001. The number 2 man of Osama bin Laden, who was Osama bin Laden, of course, he was brought to the book, he was killed much earlier. So now when such a thing happens, of course, it is something, justice has been delivered. But the golden question over here is, the ideology has to be finished, has to be wiped out. Because the question is, you kill 1 head, 10 heads would be born, unfortunately. So the thing is, the ideology has to be wiped out. This ideology of terrorism, the ideology of killing people, the ideology of the so-called their jihad that they say, that's their jihad. Because that jihad is actually a very beautiful term. It actually means struggle. If a news reporter is giving news, it's his jihad. Just trying to explain what jihad actually is, right? So now these people have spoiled, and they are the true enemies of Islam, who try to be the custodians of the religion. They're not. They are the greatest enemies of them actually. And they are the ones who are responsible for Islamophobia. They are the reason why right-thinking Muslims around the world would wear the brunt for their ill actions. They are the reason why the word Muslim is now is looked upon with suspicion. So yes, when a drone, and drones, US use a drone on 2nd January 2019, in fact in Iraq, in Baghdad, when General Soleimani, the chief of the Kurds from Iran, when he was on his way to meet the head of state of Iran, that time US used a drone. Drones have been a very potent, a very lethal weapon. In fact, we saw a whole tank brigade was wiped out between Georgia and Armenia. In fact, drones, again, Pakistan was trying to try that stunt with us because they don't have the guts to face us. So they do a proxy war with us by sending terrorists, by sending drones. In fact, in Satwari, exactly about a year back at the Air Force Base in Jammu, the drone came and landed there was one Mi-17 aircraft. Mi-17 is the same helicopter where our CDS, General Bipin Rawat, he met with an air crash, the fatal air crash. The same helicopter. And there was an ATC tower over there. But that drone failed at that time because of poor execution, or the wind direction was favoring us. Now when Zawahiri gets killed, it is certainly good news. But the question is, there are so many over there to take over his chair to become the next chief thereafter. So the ideology has to be nipped in the bud. And how is the ideology to be finished? It's through spreading awareness, through education. And I commend you there, I commend your channel as well, for actually taking out, always, I have noticed, News is a channel worth watching, and I'm not saying it because I'm here, but you would have noticed I'm frequently on a channel because I find it very, very mature, very balanced. They are the ones, universally, who are putting up a very, very rational, a very fine, a mature and a balanced view, and that is the way. Because even if we affect one mind of them, even if we affect one mind from actually going and joining the extremists, we have, I think we will make a difference somewhere.
Yes.
Very good morning out there, and very good morning to my friend Major Shah. Certainly, this is a very big success of the United States of America, and it clearly indicates and clearly re-emphasizes the fact that America follows a policy of zero tolerance against terrorism.
And you know, the shocking aspect, of course, though, was Major Mohammed Ali Shah, the fact that he was in Kabul. He was not in any cave, he was not in hiding in any obscure part of the world or Afghanistan. He was in Kabul, he was in a safe house, and he was on the balcony when he was killed.
Absolutely, Uday. And you know, his family was very much present there actually. But the US did not deliberately target the family, the civilians. As President Joe Biden said, no civilian was harmed in that. There was no collateral damage. and they didn't harm the family. So yes, most certainly it was. So as President Joe Biden said, no matter where you go, no matter how much time it takes, we will find you. And they did find him. And that was the end. So anyone, it's a lesson for everyone who picks up the weapon. No, Uday, just correlating it to an example, I acted in a film on terrorism called Moji. It's on the Kashmiri terrorism, and where the terrorists meet with a fatal end. So anyone who rages war, and who actually comes to war, with actually in terrorism that way, will meet a fatal end ultimately. Let a message go home loud and clear to anyone who thinks he can get away with picking up weapons and fighting against the state. No, they will ultimately meet a fatal end. And that's what happens to Osama bin Laden, to Zawahiri, to various people, Ajmal Kasab, to anyone. It's a message for anyone who is thinking or who wants to or who is already there. They better watch out. You see what happened to Burhan Wani. He was brought to the book. And like how the Indian army taught them a lesson. There the US army taught the radicals, the Taliban, the Al-Qaeda. Taliban also should learn from this actually. The ISIS Khorasan, the ISIS also, they should rethink about their ideology, because their ideology is really warped, is really wrong. And I can tell you, I can vouch with conviction over there, I know Islam better than these jokers. I've done the pilgrimage of Hajj. These jokers only have a beard and they talk Zawahiri. Just because he looked like a Muslim does not mean he followed the Muslim ideology. I refuse to believe that completely. And anyone who is part of a group like Al-Qaeda, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Taiba, I wrote an open letter over there in the year 2019 after the Pulwama attacks took place on 14 February. An open letter to Jaish-e-Mohammed, the terrorist outfit, which had over 10 million shares on social media within a few hours. In fact, your channel covered it very widely, and in fact, I'm grateful for that. That message drove home a point to anyone who is being destructive regarding terrorism. US launched a war against terrorism. They killed Gaddafi in Libya. They killed Saddam Hussein in Iraq for no fault of theirs actually. They didn't even have links with the Al-Qaeda at that time. They probably would have got to know from news as much as we got to know. But then ultimately who's responsible? US, okay, they did that, but ultimately it is these people. The kind of damage they have themselves done to Islam is much more than anybody could have done anywhere. So it's a wake-up call for Al-Qaeda, for Jaish-e-Mohammed, for Lashkar-e-Taiba, for ISIS Khorasan, for ISIS. And this is Mohammed Ali Shah telling them this, because if my dear friend Sanjeev Srivastava or Uday convey the message, they may not, but here is somebody who is telling them loud and clear. Any of these radicals think of doing such a dastardly, cowardly attack will meet with the same fatal fate for that.
All right, let's leave it at that. Major Mohammed Ali Shah.